do some more springboard work. We're going to do a lat press as well as a lat press that engages our triceps as well. So I'm going to have Tim stand next to the springboard just so we can see his height. So on the top we have our yellow springs. When the springboard's not in use, those yellow springs are typically set to number 11, so they're out of the way. And then down below our bar, or our ballet bar, we have our purple springs, which are heavier resistance. We usually use them for feet and straps. Right now we're gonna work with those yellow springs on our arms. So for the lat press, it is recommended that you go a little bit above shoulder height. Tim is at a 9, so I'm gonna have him move his springs down to the number 10. Good, and then he's gonna grab onto those handles, step back to where he has slight tension. Those palms are gonna stay open, palms are pressing down. We wanna make sure that he rolls his shoulders back and pushes those shoulders down. Good, he's gonna tuck his tailbone, standing with his feet hip distance apart or sits bones apart. He's gonna turn those feet into parallel so those toes are facing that springboard directly. Good, and just like everything else, he is going to pull his belly button into his spine, keeping that collarbone wide, pushing these shoulders down. Good, he's gonna look at that 10 or the 11 on the springboard, and on his inhale, keeping those arms lengthened, he's gonna press those palms towards his thighs. Exhale, he's letting go of that resistance. Inhale, he's pushing those palms down towards his thighs. Exhale, letting go of that resistance. He's remembering to keep that core engaged, belly button reaching to his spine. Glutes are squeezed, tailbone is tucked, pressing through those heels to stay grounded. Inhale, pushing those palms towards his thighs. Exhaling, releasing that tension. Good, so to work those triceps in this, we're gonna inhale, push those palms towards our thighs. Good, and we're gonna keep those elbows locked into our sides. On our exhale, we're bending those elbows to a 90-degree angle. Good, and then we're inhaling, pushing back down towards our thighs. Exhale, bend those elbows. Inhale, push those palms back towards your thighs. One last bend of those elbows. Inhale, push those palms towards your thighs. Once we're done using the equipment, we always want to move those springs back up to 11. It keeps them out of the way. And then just to go over some spring height, if you have someone that's 5'4" or taller, whenever you're doing arm work with those springs coming down or hooked from above, you always want to have those springs at shoulder height. So my springs at shoulder height are always at an 8. We can put those springs at an 8 for me, or for Tim, they would go to a 9. Go ahead and move those springs to a 9. Sorry, I know I just made you move them up. And here we could do some pulls. So Tim's gonna take those handles in his hand. He's gonna wrap his hands around them, making a fist, palms are facing in. He's gonna step back again to where there's slight tension. Those arms are lengthened. Good. From here, same setup. Parallel with our feet, sits bones apart, move them in just a little bit. You want about fist distance? Good, right there. He's tucking that tailbone, he's squeezing those glutes, he's bringing that belly button to his spine. He's gonna roll those shoulders back and push them down for me. And on his inhale, he's bending those elbows in, exhaling, releasing those arms. Inhale, bending those elbows in. Exhaling, lengthening those arms. Good, one last time. Inhale, pull those elbows in tight. Exhale, lengthen those arms. Good, you can go ahead, release those springs, move them back up to the number 11. So as I stated earlier, we also have those purple springs that are on the bottom, heavier springs, heavier resistance. We can move those springs to the 5, 4, 3. We can even bring them up above to a number 8, which Club Pilates recommends if you were going to do anything in the levitation or magician series. Since Tim is new to Pilates, we are not going to make him do magician or levitation, but we are going to work with our feet in those straps. So I'm going to have Tim come to lay on his back with his head towards the springboard. So go ahead, lay down, head towards the springboard, feet are facing out to the center of the room. Because Tim is tall, I'm going to leave those springs at 5. I work with the springs at 5 as well. If you had somebody shorter than 5'4", you could move those springs down to a 4. That way it's more comfortable for them to maintain that neutral spine or imprinted spine when they're working with their feet in those purple springs. The closer their head is to the springboard, the less resistance they're going to be working with. The further away that you push out, the more tension you have. So we can't necessarily adjust the springs on the springboard like we can when we're working on the reformer with our resistance and the different weights that they hold. With the springboard, we're just either moving closer or moving further away. So anything that we can do on the reformer though, feet and straps, we can do on the springboard. The only difference is each leg is working individually. So with each leg working individually, it's basically supporting and carrying the weight of that leg. You don't have the help of your whole body or both legs like you do when you're on the reformer. The springs on the springboard are also higher, and depending on how you're sitting, they're either behind you or in front of you based off of the different exercises. So I'm going to have Tim bring both of his feet into those loops the same way we do on the reformer. He's going to bend those legs up into tabletop and then wrap those loops to the arches of his feet. Once both of his feet are in the straps, I'm going to have him go ahead and just carefully lengthen those legs up to the ceiling. Good. And then with his arms, I'm going to have him actually reach them behind him and press up into that stationary bar. Yep, go up. Good. Pressing his palms up into that bar. Now, even though he's pressing into that bar, we want to make sure that he has his shoulders back and pressing into the mat as much as he can. We're keeping that cervical spine soft. Good. He's going to zip those feet together. And on his inhale, keeping the tag of his pants pressing into the mat, he's going to lower those legs down. Go ahead, inhale, push down. We can stop right there. Exhale, float those legs up. So just like when we're on the reformer, we're floating our legs up to where our knees and our ankles are right over our hips. When we push our legs down, we're pushing our legs down to where we're maintaining that neutral spine. We're not arching our lower back. Good. Exhale, float up. We can do the different footwork. He can go ahead and lock those heels together, externally rotating those toes. Moving into that first position, our small Pilates V. Go ahead, inhale, push your legs down to 45 degrees. Good, hold it here. So from here, you can release your breath, keep those legs steady. Good, we're gonna inhale, bend our knees, keeping those heels glued together. Exhale, push those legs long. Good. Inhale, bend those knees in. Exhale, push those legs long. Does that feel too heavy for you? Good. Keeping those heels glued together. Inhale, bend those knees. Exhale, push those legs long. Good. Hold your legs here. Go ahead, lock those feet back into parallel. Exhale, float those legs up to the ceiling. Remembering those feet and ankles stack over your knees and your hips. Good. So unlike the reformer, we can do unilateral work keeping both of our feet hooked into these straps. So we're gonna work with our left leg. Tim's gonna inhale, keeping his foot pointed, he's going to press it down, still maintaining that control. Good. On his exhale, he's gonna flex that foot and float it up. Once that foot comes to meet the right, he's gonna inhale, pointed toe, press that right leg down. Good. Exhale, flex that right foot.